Hello, this is Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Report Friday Red Alert for March 10, inviting in the enemy. Recently, just this month, Israel passed a new set of rules denying entry visas to folks engaging in BDS activities on Israeli soil. That is, folks who seek to demonstrate or engage in activities, or with speakers who seek to boycott, divest, and sanction the nation-state of Israel politically and economically, and ultimately existentially. This has gotten some surprising pushback, including from J Street saying it's undemocratic for Israel to deny entry visas for these kinds of people. However, no nation that I can think of openly welcomes people into its nations for the purpose of their undermining it, rather than to visit it, tour it, do business in it, or otherwise seek to even emigrate to it. The idea of safety and public security, as well as enhancing the credibility of one's own nation, is certainly a criteria for entry visas. This is not too far from the idea of the Trump administration seeking to put together a proper vetting process, specifically from countries where risks are documented, so that we can ensure folks are coming to this country to join in to the society rather than undermine it and destroy it. Other international organizations are also seeing the anti-Semitic nature of BDS, excuse me, and that includes Vienna, Austria. The Viennese government has disengaged the anti-Israel Apartheid Week event organized by BDS Austria, who had a known terrorist coming to speak at one of the engagements. The Viennese government openly stated that there is no place for such anti-Semitic activities on its land. Moreover, they announced that no public money whatsoever has gone to Austria BDS, and it is not welcome on their public grounds. It's interesting that the Apartheid Week 2017 is an event that happens all over the Western world, on college campuses and within certain community groups, in an effort to highlight the tiny democratic nation-state of Israel in the Middle East as somehow the core oppressor and violator of human rights in the entire region and the origin of all its problems. This certainly is not the case by any means, and many survivors of apartheid in South Africa, those who were on the victim end of it, have openly traveled to Israel and publicly stated that the word apartheid does not belong anywhere in applicableness to the nation of Israel, and it is completely unreasonable to apply that term, and that's not the case. Israel's wall, for example, is purely for security measures and to keep inhabitants safe and free from harm, and that's all inhabitants regardless of skin color or ethnicity. The walls built in South Africa were to separate people specifically by the ethnic or color of their skin as criteria. The other interesting thing is we don't see other nations being highlighted for documented human rights oppressions and barbaric treatments of homosexuals, women, ethnic minorities, and the like. Nations like North Korea, China, and neighboring Middle Eastern countries are never the highlight of a week-long protest and speakers and activities seeking to undermine its very existence and choke it off economically or politically. In addition, even if there are protests against these countries and their particular actions, the inhabitants or the ethnic descendants of that country are not also demonized along with it. We don't see Iranians or Chinese people being the victims of hatred and bullying and threatening on college campuses the way Jewish students are because of their so-called connection to the nation-state of Israel. So indeed, by a variety of criteria, the BDS movement is singling out an entire ethnic group, not only a nation, but its descendants around the world who are culturally a part of it, as the origins of all these human rights oppressions. Every little step helps, from barring entry of these folks into the community and the soil of Israel to protest its existence, to local and national governments recognizing BDS's anti-Semitism and not allowing it to take place, at least on public lands. These are all good steps. Please be aware that government bodies, community agencies, individuals from academia, from arts, from the sciences, from politics, from entertainment, all sorts of ethnic backgrounds and religious backgrounds are recognizing BDS for what it is, anti-Semitic and thus discriminatory. It is not a philanthropic organization, but one that disguises itself as such with the intent to strangle and remove a certain ethnic group from not only the Middle East, but from all Western and world societies. Shavua Tov. Have a great week. Shabbat Shalom.